Ahlan bika, or welcome, as they say here. To the home of many biblical stories, as well as ancient rulers adorned in gold.
Yeah, this is something we eat.
And some remarkable Jurassic secrets. This episode, we travel deep into the Sahara, uncovering a bit of prehistoric discovery. We'll cruise across the Nile River to visit simple and minimalistic living.
So this is island. It is, you cannot coming with car or bus or any place or anything.
And of course, take a look into the mysteries of ancient Egyptians. And one of them shows the actual process of mummification, which I appreciate seeing, and how modern civilization there has changed since those times.
But I can see
I'm Rae Bailey,
and you guys get to see them with me.
bringing you along this solo journey to the oldest country in the world. If it were a tree, you would see sign of roots. All right, so today I am going Egypt. This is Bahaa. He was my bodyguard and my tour guide for my week stay in Egypt. Today, Bahaa and I are visiting the Great Pyramids of Giza. The Giza Pyramids are considered one of the 7 wonders of the world. There's an official 21 wonders, but the original 7, the Giza Pyramids, fall in there. The 3 pyramids were built to house the tombs of kings Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. Although the pyramids of Giza are the most well-known pyramids in Egypt, there is approximately 138 pyramids.
So this is what he built, tomb for him after he died. And he put inside glory, silver, everything, because when he alive again inside, he have everything.
Alongside the Great Pyramids of Giza is the Sphinx of Giza, which was built to represent the pharaoh Khafre.
Well, strong like, have body like lion, and they are too smart to build these stones, because inside the tombs the mummies, the silver, the gold, so they want to send the message to the world, don't come or steal us or control us.
As I walk into the temple that leads to the Sphinx, I am met with great blocks of granite. These large blocks of granite and limestone were used to build the Sphinx and the pyramids. Imagine building your kitchen counter out of this.
Or when they build the temple, they put 2 and 1 up, like you see, like 1 in the between. So this is how to make it more strong. And also it is much deep down. It is not the end here. It is more deep.
Getting a closer view of the Sphinx really makes it hard to believe that this was built by man. The Sphinx presents the body of a lion and the head that represents King Khafre. After the pyramids, Bahaa takes me to lunch for some local Egyptian fare. What is Bahaa is making me try everything that I don't want to try. All right. Good. Koshari.
Yeah, koshari. It is named koshari. It is local lunch for Egyptian people. It is so healthy and cheap. It is not expensive.
Yeah.
So this is why it is famous here.
Yeah, and it's noodles and chicken, fried onions, and some mixed vegetables and some types of beans. This is kus. It's like a pita bread. It's hard baked, and it's really good. It just tastes like pita.
History doesn't just date back to the Egyptian dynasties, however. There's history that dates much farther than we know.
This is my ride for the day. Oh yeah.
I'm on my way to Faiyum Desert to uncover more about some interesting history. Here I am questioning my life decisions again.
Today, we're at Wadi al-Hatan, the Valley of Whales, about 60 miles southwest of the capital, Cairo. This is an archaeological gold mine for researchers and paleontologists alike.
This area hosts the discovery of over 1,500 skeletons and fossils of whales and other marine life.
The skeletons and the fossils date back over 400 million years ago. Now, the theory that most researchers tackle here falls into the theory of evolution, with the likeliness that whales once walked on land, meaning whales had feet. Now, they've come to this because a lot of the skeletons that they found here had actual feet-like structures attached to the fossils.
Other evidence that supports whales walking on land is shown in fossilized trees and petrified wood. The area indicated that there was shallow marine life and that trees could survive here as well, meaning whatever body of water was here may have been too shallow for the whales to live in.
If you think about it, this area is so vast, there are probably millions more of fossils and skeletons that have not been discovered yet. Scientists and researchers are still finding new evidence of prehistoric life right here.
Despite history dating back to the 40-million-year-old fossils in the Great Pyramids of Giza, Egypt is most known for its ancient Egyptian history and culture.
Alright, so today I am going to the Cairo Museum, which will have all the historical pieces that I am ready to learn about.
So, in Egyptian museum, after you see everything inside, big piece, small piece, and you enjoy, you will going to next level to the room, have Egyptian mummies.
For some of you guys that know me personally, you guys know I do not like scary things. Bahaa is explaining to me that the mummy room might be a bit scary. So right now I am in the Cairo Museum. The mummy exhibit is closed, but I'm going to try and give you guys all the information that I can without getting to see the mummies.
So honestly, I wasn't allowed to bring my camera into the museum, and I wasn't allowed to film on my phone either. So everything you're about to see is me being as inconspicuous as possible.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit overwhelmed because bodies were once in this.
The Cairo Museum is split into 2 levels, featuring thousands of ancient relics, statues, pieces of buildings, tombs and sarcophaguses, and of course, mummies.
To every Bible story I watched growing up, this is proof that Egyptians were black people. So can we stop making them, you can see quite clearly there's a distinction between the color of their skin and the color of the stone in the back. They didn't just leave it the same color. They made it known that there was a distinction. They were black people.
The only mummies that will remain for viewing are the incredibly preserved mummies of Thuya and Yuya, the great-grandparents of King Tut. I was only able to sneak some footage of Thuya, King Tut's great-grandmother, as there were guardsmen around. There are also other mummies of different ranking socialites, however they don't display the preserved features of mummification like Thuya and Yuya's.
Okay, one room I do get to enter are animal mummies. We'll take what we can get.
The animal mummy room features different animals, including a dog and monkey. Pet dog. This dog was probably used as a hunting dog and is related to a saluki. The owner of this dog is still unknown since neither an inscription nor a human mummy accompanied the burial. However, it is assumed to be the pet of either Amenhotep II or Horemheb, whose tombs were nearby. Interesting. And I did get to see King Tut's sarcophagus, his coffin, and a lot of his artifacts, but I did not get to see him himself. I'll just have to visit again once the bodies have been moved to the new museum. After the museum, I set across the Nile to visit the Pharaonic village experience, an excursion made to emulate what it may have looked like in ancient Egyptian times.
Was discovered by a member of Pharaoh's family and was brought up in the royal palace.
The Pharaonic village showcases scenes of different roles held in ancient Egypt, like papyrus paper makers, brick makers, perfume makers, and even wine makers. And inside features different exhibits that teach about ancient Egyptian history, as well as an exhibit that teaches about modern Egyptian history as an Islamic state. So they have a couple of museums and different exhibits at the Pharaonic village, and one of them shows the actual process of mummification, which I appreciate seeing because I did not get that at the Cairo Museum. And so pretty much what we have here, this is a replica of the earliest preserved body. I think the original body is in a museum, probably in England or somewhere in the UK. So once they discovered that these bodies were being preserved naturally after they found them with sand, they said, okay, let's do a mummification process. So the process starts by taking out the organs of the body and then sealing them in these jars where they put different ones. They take out the brain from the nose. The only organ that is kept is the heart. The whole mummification process takes about 70 days, with 40 of those days having the body on sand and salt. The sand and salt is used for the body, all of the body's natural organs, those juices and everything that happens after the dying process, to be absorbed. And once they did that, they found that the body looked like this after 40 days. Then the next steps of the process would be by wrapping the body in linen and preserving and keeping it preserved. Here are some gifts and things that would be used in the mummification process, like frankincense, myrrh. What we know of Egypt depicted in books and movies is a society that no longer exists here.
They use this wooden fire drill and they made here some holes. They put inside these whole linen seed oil and some dried leaves of trees. Under there is the friction. So by the friction we are going to see fire right now. You see.
Of course, history will always be reverend, but times have changed greatly. Religion and tradition are much different as they were in what we've learned in these museums. Next time, on part 2 of The Land of Pharaohs, we'll learn more about modern Egypt and present-day society. Show on Animal Planet. I want to own a zoo. Like, this is the life I want to live. I want to be like you when I grow up. And we are about to have breakfast, and this breakfast is easy and traditional in this part of Egypt. So because of that wall, this is the only area that the boat can come past through. Then the mummies would be no. They turned on the lights. Sorry. The light went out and I got scared.
Scared?
Yes. Because the light turned off, I ran out.